right, before we get there, guys, when your wife says, "Hey, are you going to the cabin today?" you just say yeah. But I'm going out here because I have time to get some stuff done. I'm probably only going to have a couple hours. It's already 2 o'clock. I'll get there around 2:30 or so. Start messing around by 3 or something, and then that'll give me a couple hours roughly. But I want to talk about, I guess why we're doing what I'm doing here. The area that we hunt around has one giant farmer's field that gets planted every few years in corn and every few years in pickles or cucumbers. And I think this year it's going to be cucumbers, which always is interesting because it definitely changes the concentration of the deer in one area and spreads them out more in the woods. But the more that we can create separate areas for them to stick around that are near our kill plots, hopefully that'll help us maintain having a healthy deer population on the property without, overdoing it on one of the spots versus the others. We try to spread them out and give them all good food. And what we'll end up trying to do is at the bottom of the big farmer's field this year, I think we're going to plant, I know one side of it we already have going in alfalfa, and then the other bottom half of the field, I'm not sure if we're going to try to do more of that or plant clover. We just don't have enough area to do corn and beans effectively. There's so many deer and they just eat them off every year. It doesn't matter what kind of beans we put in there. Obviously there's some that come back once they eat them and it doesn't matter. They eat them down to the ground. Plus the timing of it, and it just, with the rain and everything throughout the year, being a dry area out here, drier soil, it's so hit and miss. And we've definitely come to the conclusion that clover is number one. I mean, it seems to be the easiest to grow. We've had some pretty good luck with brassicas. We do try to mix them in a little bit here and there, and they seem to work pretty well early season in the food plots. But a lot of times when gun season comes around and after the season, we're pretty much done, and that's a group of 8 or 9 guys. Last year, I think we ended up getting 4 or 5 bucks off the property. We shot 13 deer total, which was, I think, the most we've ever gotten in a year. And to be honest with you, it almost feels like it didn't even make a dent. It's hard to say because I know we're attracting a lot of deer because of our food plots from the area around us. And we have the opportunity on our property to access it from every direction and spread out so we're not constantly hunting the same spots, which is, I know, a giant key for us to be able to continue harvesting nice deer and not over pressuring them, even though we have a large group. Just some backstory for you guys, just to kind of know what I'm dealing with out here. Our property is sort of set up like half hardwoods, half pines, and it's kind of a transition zone, north and south, and then east and west. So we're kind of in a really unique situation where the deer just come through a lot, because they're traveling between 2 giant fields, or maybe 3, in different directions around us, and we're kind of in the middle. So it's kind of how it goes. I'm going to get out here in just a little bit, and hopefully we can start doing a little bit more edge feathering, just so that we can keep the does bedding closer to the food, which hopefully will suck the bucks up closer to the food, because in general, I think a lot of times these bucks are anywhere from 100 to 400 yards, maybe further, behind these does back in the woods in their little spots, and it's taken them a while to get out to, the bigger field areas, or even sometimes our kill plots. So that's kind of the strategy there, is to hopefully push these does up towards the bigger food sources and allow these bucks to snug up a little bit closer, and maybe then their daytime movement, will be within a killable area for us for some of our stands. Basically just trying to create closer movement to the spots we already have I don't want to keep moving stands around. I think I have them established in good spots. So we're just going to basically build around them and try to make the deer come to us versus us trying to go get the deer, if that makes any sense also. So hopefully you can follow along with me here and understand my logic. Besides having a job, running my own business, having 3 kids that I run around to sports everywhere, my wife is extremely busy and successful. I try to do this as my 3rd job. So I will try to keep in contact and uploading throughout the off season here just to see what the progress is. And maybe I'll kind of do a little montage at the end of this video or somewhere right now to show you guys some of the nicer deer that we've had on the property and some of the nicest harvests that we've had since, I'd say, 2020 or so. This whole redoing the property project for us and a different way of hunting out there and different access and all this kind of started in 2018. So it's been about 8 years, and it's definitely been coming around hugely. We've been very successful. So hopefully we'll keep that going. We'll talk to you guys in a few.